The Michigan Wolverines, in my humble opinion, should have a good gauge for who their starting quarterback is going to be in 2024. Now, we'll talk about that right now based on the spring game, which we admit isn't all the information in the world, but from what we can gather, we'll kind of give you our 2 cents. But first things first, Michigan Wolverine fans, man, y'all been rocking with us for a minute here. Throughout the entirety of last season, throughout the college football playoff, the national championship, met a lot of y'all at the national championship. Make sure you're subscribed here. If you have not already subscribed to the On3 YouTube channel, would encourage you to do so because we're college football year-round. I mean, spring games, portal season, recruiting, obviously fall Saturdays, like everything that has to do with this sport, we cover it here and talk about it here. So make sure you join the community by subscribing. Also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JDPikel. I think Alex Orji is your guy in 2024. I'm basing that on the spring game, and I'm also basing that on the context that we have been given around this whole situation. When they talk about the quarterback room, notice they name Alex Orji first. When they go out there for those first reps of the spring game, Alex Orji takes the first reps. And I think if you're a Michigan Wolverine fan going into this spring game, the way you felt about the transfer portal was going to be dictated more than likely on how Alex Orji performed. And when I look at Michigan in 2024, I think Alex Orji has a lot of what you need, and then I think he has a lot of potential to be what you would like at quarterback. And what I mean by that is all Michigan needs at quarterback, if we're just going to keep it a buck right now, they need someone to be efficient. They need someone to be efficient. They don't need someone to throw for 300 yards a game. They don't need someone that's going to be able to go forwards every other play. Like, they need someone who's going to put the ball in the playmaker's hands, take what the defense gives them, don't turn the football over, and when we need you to make a play for us. Now, what you would like and what I think he can grow into is someone who can push the ball downfield a little bit more frequently, and that's kind of the talking point around him as a passer, which we will talk about more later in the segment. But when you talk about Alex Orji as a passer, the knock on him is, well, he kind of just throws one speed. When you talk about passes as a quarterback, there's the 1 ball, which is a line drive. There's the 2 ball with a little bit of air under it. There's a 3 ball that's like that overarching rainbow right in the breadbasket. Alex Orji, from what people are talking about him, throws that 1 ball for the majority of his passes. That's something that I think he can continue to grow into. I mean, I don't doubt that's something that he's working on behind closed doors, and I think it's something that if they run the football effectively enough, they're going to be able to demand that attention in the box and be able to have some of those shots with some pretty good access. Like, it's not going to be a whole lot of NFL throws, in my opinion, when they crowd the box. It'll be deep shots, and you got to take money when it's on the table. That goes without saying. Now, Michigan's not going to go to the transfer portal to add a quarterback. Wasn't sure about that going into that spring game. Coming out of it, feel pretty confident that's going to be the case. One, because the offensive coordinator told all of us we're not using the portal as an option right now when it comes to this room. That should be encouraging for a number of reasons. One, Kirk Campbell understands the expectation and the standard at Michigan. They're not cool with going 8-4 and finishing second or third in the Big Ten. No, it's win the Big Ten, win national championships. So if your OC, who understands what he signed up for here, is telling you we don't need to go and add other pieces to this room, okay, take his word for it. He's around it every single day. The other part of this, too, the reason, even if Kirk Campbell hadn't said that, based on what we saw in the spring game, I think you saw enough from both Alex Orji and Davis Warren to feel pretty good about the direction of that offense. And what have we seen from Michigan, really, since Jim Harbaugh was there, but especially after Jim Harbaugh's gone for the NFL? Michigan is an inside-out football team, meaning they would much rather do things in a homemade fashion than going to the store and adding something else from the outside and adding that in. Michigan has a championship culture, and that's not just something that you say. They have real trophies to go with that now. Championship culture, championship formula, and they trust that. They double down on that at every single turn. And we've seen that from how they put the staff together. Jim Harbaugh goes to the league. They could have swung big, got some other names. They promote Sherrone more. Lose your strength coach, promote internally. And so that's kind of the way they've done things. I'm not saying they haven't made outside hires, because they have, but the bottom line for Michigan is if they can promote from within their system, within their culture, they're going to do that. And I don't think it's any different when you look at this quarterback room based on what you have there. It's also worth noting here, adding a transfer portal quarterback is very different than adding any other position, especially when you're bringing a quarterback to start. Because when you are the quarterback in that huddle, you better have the other 10 individuals in that huddle with you believe in you to the nth degree. Like, it's not one of those things where you're just splitting out wide and maybe you're seeing the football as a wide receiver 3 or 4 times a game. Like, no, you are touching the football every single time. You're getting us lined up. Whether you like it or not, you have to be a leader. And so, given the fact that Michigan has already gone through winter conditioning, already gone through spring football, they've kind of gone through those culture-forming phases of the year, in my opinion, outside of fall camp, it would be very difficult to walk into that championship culture as an outsider, no matter how talented you are, and be able to win the team. I'm not saying you couldn't do it, but I think it would be very difficult. Also worth noting, by where we are right now in the transfer portal, it is like Monday morning, so I say that just to make sure we're on the same page as to who's available in the portal right now, in case something crazy happens. I don't see a quarterback that you look at and say, yeah, that's definitely an upgrade based on what we have right now. Yeah, we definitely want to bring in that guy that's going to help us win games without having those 15 practices to learn our playbook and to win over this locker room. Not saying it couldn't happen, but I don't see it happening if we're giving our opinion here. And that's, of course, what this video is. So the knock on Alex Orji, as we mentioned before, well, what is he as a passer? What is he going to be throwing the football downfield? Does he give you that extra dimension offensively? I already told you I think he can bring that. I think he's going to grow more and more into that as a passer. But I think we're asking the wrong question. Because I think Alex Orji, the question we should ask with him is, what does he bring to you as a runner? What more does he add to you offensively as a runner? Because when we look at Michigan, it is no secret who they are. It's no secret who they are. They want to be a 60% run the football kind of team. And you lose a 1,200-yard rusher from a year ago in Blake Corum. Now, Donovan Edwards, he's a good back. But are you going to replace 1,200 yards rushing plus what Donovan Edwards did last year on one back? You might. I'm not saying there's not other good backs in that locker room or other good backs at Michigan they could go acquire too, but I'm just telling you right now, Alex Orji and what he brings to the table on the quarterback design runs, plus the ad-lib plays, plus the scrambles, like he is going to, I think, double down on who Michigan's identity is offensively. He brings that to the table. There's a reason we saw him in different moments last year in the Rose Bowl and throughout the course of the season. Hey, I think he was returning kicks at one point. Like, Alex Orji, the ability he has with the football in his hands as a runner adds more and more to who Michigan wants to be, who Sherrone Moore's Michigan is going to be, which is smash mouth football. If he's efficient, and he was efficient in that spring game, there's some throws that you don't love. It's practice 15, it is what it is. 13 for 18, I think that's going to be good enough more often than not. If he continues to develop and continues to add that to his bag, he's going to be special. And Michigan, I think, overall has a chance to take a run at what they did last year. I'm not calling my shot right now, but I'm just saying if Alex Orji brings to the table what I think he's shown you he can bring to the table, Michigan's going to be a force yet again. Surprise, surprise, even with all the unproven production. Last thing I'll say here, I'm calling my shot for Alex Orji to be your guy in 2024. That's my opinion as we sit here in late April after the spring game. But I wouldn't count out the possibility of a 2-quarterback system. Because Davis Warren, he also looked sharp in that spring game. He also did a good job pushing the ball downfield. I think you could argue he had a better day when it comes to what he did at the spring game, just purely off statistics and moving the offense. But I'm just saying, don't overlook that possibility. So we'll obviously keep a pulse on it. As soon as we have more information here, we'll talk about it. Let me know what you think on Twitter and Instagram. At JD Piquel. Get at me on there. Let me know who you think is starting for Michigan in 2024 at quarterback. Again, make sure you're subscribed. Hey, it's college football year-round, baby. This sport does not stop, so therefore this show does not stop. And we appreciate y'all being a part of this community that, again, does not stop. We love y'all. Going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.